What's up, dudes? My name is Nick. Welcome back for another news video. In this one, we're talking about the fact that JYP Entertainment is going to be the first entertainment company in Korea that essentially eliminates after-hours work. So that means no working past apparently whatever hours that you're scheduled. So in the instance of me, since I'm an hourly employee at my place of employment, I'm scheduled to get off at a certain time, and that means no, I can't work after that. Or I guess in the instance of JYP, since they're not necessarily companies like that, a retail store or something like that, you know, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. is work time. Outside of that is not work time. And this is pretty darn big, that they're not going to require it. I would assume that they're going to just outright ban it so that it doesn't happen. I don't know specifically. I saw this as all I've seen is a headline, and I have not been able to find a translated article of the Korean source that I have. But just irregardless of any other information, the fact that they're actually going through and saying that, like, hey, you guys working late every single day is not good. We don't want that anymore, so stop it. And it's very, very important to kind of consider that the work culture in Korea is, well, it definitely highly encourages staying at work all night. Because if you watched any Korean dramas that kind of revolve around office life, or kind of portrays office workers, is that the team can't necessarily, or is not, as far as like cultural work norms in Korea, is like the team can't really leave until their manager leaves. So people end up staying all night, not doing any work, because their boss is still there, so they can't leave before their boss leaves. And so obviously that's a problem. It just is. It's not a very healthy work environment to just be there all the time, because it's what society expects, I suppose, when it comes to work culture. So it's good to see that JYP Entertainment is kind of taking a proactive step, I suppose you can say, to kind of get in the way of this, kind of stop it, and just like kind of realize that taking care of your employees and having some respect and, just in general concern, whether you actually are concerned for them or not, but through policies that the company has when it comes to work hours and work time, work days, and whatever other stuff that to just basically set the work environment, it kind of shows that, it's a nice place to work. But maybe this is a coincidence, maybe it's not, but the fact that JYP apparently seems to be a pretty nice place to work, or they're trying to make it a nicer place to work as much as they possibly can, maybe that could correlate to the fact that JYP is the most profitable entertainment company in the second quarter of 2017. I do believe, too, similar to how they were the most profitable entertainment company in the first quarter of 2017. So maybe there's a correlation between having a positive work environment and also having a positive or a successful company. Not necessarily, in all honesty, but maybe it does play a part where your employees are willing to work for you. Your talent, your Twice, GOT7, Day 6, whoever else they don't hate their lives, and they are definitely feeling it, and they put out some good music, whatever it is, the people that are working for you are doing a good job, and you're getting the success, the reward for that, good treatment. And so, but the thing to consider, though, is that, but the downside to this whole thing is that despite the fact that it's great, they're like, no more after hours work, basically no more overtime, it's not necessarily going to actually apply to the idols themselves, or the people who are, involved in working directly with the group when it comes to managers and other support staff like that, makeup artists, stylists, whatever other people that follow them around as they promote their new songs and albums, go to events and stuff like that. Is not going to apply to them. That's just the nature of the music industry, where you work 12, 18-hour days, because you have a day where you start at, 8 a.m. and you go all the way to, 10 p.m. or you go all the way to late at night. It just is the nature of, the entertainment industry. But on the flip side, despite the fact that you have days that are 100% packed, you barely have any time to sleep, maybe you get 6 hours of sleep and then you got to do it again the next day. When twice is not promoting, they probably do have a pretty decent amount of free time. So, I guess the upside to that is, despite the fact that while they are doing activities, promoting fan events, going to concerts, music shows, all this other kind of stuff, when they are not active, when they do not have those promotional obligations, then it's like they're going to put in a good 8 hours of training and practice, probably singing, dancing, whatever it is that they're doing, and then they're done for the rest of the day, probably. And it's an interesting thing. It's a positive step in, well, yeah, this is definitely a step in the right direction when it comes to, I suppose, workers' rights. I mean, I guess it's workers' rights, right? Or labor rights, we should say that. And it's very, very interesting to see that this is coming out of JYP, not any other company. I mean, it's not necessarily that JYP is better in any way than YG, SM, or any other company, although they definitely are. But, it's just, corporations are not necessarily altruistic beings. So you just got to kind of keep that in mind, that they don't necessarily look out for other people's best interests before their own. The bottom line is their record books, their accounts, the profit margin, basically, and they do kind of have to keep an eye on that before anything else, in all honesty. So it's not necessarily that this is I don't know, they're being nice, in all honesty. JYP is apparently, he knows what's up, but that also doesn't mean that YG and SM, by necessity or by whoever the CEOs are complete jerks. Maybe they just can't do this. I mean, obviously JYP is very successful. So or they're posting some very, very positive numbers. So potentially they can afford to not work everyone to death because they don't need that productivity. I don't know. That whole last minute was just a complete ramble of crap. So disregard that. So in all honesty, I don't even know. I'm psyched for this. It's great. It's, bringing them, I don't even know, in line with the civilized world. I don't know if that's really the right way to phrase that, but it definitely is much more pro workers' rights in favor of their employees. And that's always good. Raising the quality of life for your employees in their workplace is always a good thing. And I don't know why anybody would not support that, unless you're the CEO of a company and it's hurting your profit margins. Then I could understand why you're not in favor of that. But if you're not in favor of that, and that's the reason that I kind of have to say that you're probably a little bit of an asshole. So that's all I got to say. A little bit. The last bit was a little bit of a ramble. I'm sorry. I didn't actually write a script for this video, so that's the reason why. So that's all I got to say about this. Share your thoughts and opinions on this little bit of news. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing for some reason? If you think it's a bad thing, that's perfectly fine, even though I don't say it's a bad thing. Not everyone has to agree, and that is perfectly fine. So I want to hear what you guys think about this. Whether you like the change or not, put that stuff down in the comment box below. Don't be afraid to share, because this community is all about having a little bit of friendly discussion. We have the freedom to share our thoughts and opinions no matter what they are. So if that is a community that you are interested in becoming a part of, then please do consider clicking on that subscribe button down below. If you want to get more news stuff that I don't specifically share on YouTube and other things about me personally, then you should probably get off of YouTube, go follow me on social media, or just take a minute to get off of YouTube, and then you can go back to watching my own videos. You follow me on social media. I've got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can pick one, you can pick three, you can pick two, whichever ones that you have, and give me a follow over there. All you got to do is search for me at ROK Music Review, or follow the links in the description box below. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.